The following is a Stars and Strikes doubles rebroadcast featuring some of our most memorable programs.
Stars and Strikes doubles. Stars and Strikes doubles is sponsored in part by Somerville Lumber. Stars and Strikes doubles is produced in conjunction with the Candlepin Bowling Association. And now your hosts, Doug Brown and Dan Murray.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to the Londonderry Bowling Center as semifinal week continues here on the Winds.
Now on Stars and Strikes doubles. Doug Brown along with Dan Murphy once again, and we again look for that elusive team that will win 2 matches in a row, and we're left with our top 3 seeds, the top 3 teams left in this series.
Well, it's going to be interesting because I think balloons is going to come down, streamers are going to fly when somebody can win 2 in a row. But that's what Larry and Fred are going to try to do, and they get a tough team to do it with.
All right, let's meet the bowlers for this afternoon's show. Should be a terrific match. Let's meet our number 3 seeded team first, going for their 2nd straight win. From Newport, New Hampshire, Larry Valcourt. His partner from Hampton, New Hampshire, Fred Ruonala.
Okay, Larry comes in averaging 124, the roll-off score at 683. Fred Ruonala right there at 125 and 678.
And last week, Larry and Fred put together a terrific 4-10 for a big win over Bob Ferrara and Alex Pendleton, and so now they will try for that 2nd win in a row, and they'll face our number 2 seeded team from East Kingston, New Hampshire, Brian Fuller, and his partner from Claremont, New Hampshire, Steve Vadney.
Okay, Brian comes in averaging 120. His roll-off score is 689. Steve Vadney at 125 and 688.
And of course, the winners of this match will move into next week's championship match. The runners-up today will receive 3rd prize money of $250. We've got this match coming your way, first of 3 strings, right after these messages. Don't go away. All right, here we go into the semifinals with our top 3 teams. Ferrara and Pendleton knocked off Lavery and Flynn 2 weeks ago. Last week it was Valcourt and Ruonala knocking off Ferrara and Pendleton, and so now Valcourt and Ruonala go for that elusive 2nd straight win. It'll be Fuller and Vadney, the 2nd seeded team, their opponents, and the winners, of course, come back next week to face Pete Pereira and Kevin Davis, our number 1 seeded team, for the championship and the spot in the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. Larry Valcourt starts the match with a half Worcester right. Larry and Fred last week with a 4-10, including 15 marks. Of course, the 3 most important marks. A triple strike by Larry Valcourt in the final 2 boxes of the first game that turned a 28-pin deficit into an 11-pin lead in a flash. And they went on to win big from there.
It just turned the match around so quickly. I was talking to Alex Pendleton after the match, and he said everything was going fine for them until that triple strike. He said, you know, and they came off the wall. He had 2 or 3 pins left on each one of the strikes, and they seemed to come off the wall. He says if they're 9-pin drops or spares, he says we still got a 20-pin lead, but they went down and changed the whole complexion of the match.
Larry now in lane 29, and speaking of strikes, that was a pretty clean one, though.
Come on, Brian, baby, wait a second,
Well, as you can tell,
these are the same rooters he had back in 1988. They're just a little grayer, you know, and they're not quite as loud.
Oh, there it is. They'll be loud now. You had to say that, didn't you? Brian Fuller hasn't been with us since right around New Year's, 1988. As he kicks out the 5-pin for the strike on the first ball. Brian has been with us only 3 times, and they were 3 consecutive weeks. The The last Sunday of '87 and then the first 2 Sundays of 1988, he won consecutive matches over Clarence Davis, Ed Emerson, and Bill Logan, and there is a spare on strike.
I'm not sure he touched that 3-pin. Brian is bold, but the crowd is never lost. Always fun when you get a crowd here that makes a lot of noise.
Oh, watch out for Fred. No, went the wrong way. It'll be a 9. That was on a strike, remember.
Trying to cover the 4-pin for the spare.
Yes, spare on strike. Fred on the spare now, slides by the head pin, just a 4-fill. Oh, yes. Oh, big spare.
3 in a row. That was a nice shot. Splitting the 1 and the 2. Watch the head pin go down after the 6-10.
No, talked about Brian Fuller having never lost here on Stars and Strikes. His partner's got a pretty good record here, too. Steve Vadney on a spare, a 5-drop. Steve today shooting for his 30th win on Stars and Strikes. Of course, that combines the 2 programs. Only 2 men have 20 or more wins with us. Steve Vadney with 29, Pat Pay with 22. And beyond them, only 5 other bowlers have 10 or more wins. And they are in order: Mike Morgan with 18, Peter Flynn with 15, Joe Ashline 13, Bob Kelly and Mike Poulin have 10 each, and several guys just behind them with 9. So overall for Steve Vadney, this is appearance number 45 on Stars and Strikes.
Now Larry Valcourt will see if he can keep the string alive. String of marks, of course, I'm referring to. Strike and 2 spares in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. He'll be filling that last spare.
Crosses over. Can't kick out the 6-pin this time. Interestingly positioned piece of wood for the 6-7. Perhaps it'll deflect the ball over to the 7. We'll see. Nope, not capping it. That's not what he wanted.
This match could be for the bragging rights at Sunset Lanes too, because Larry being the manager and does a lot of bowling there, and so does Steve Vadney.
Still, Larry will clear out that piece of wood and move over to lane 29.
68 at the halfway point.
Four horsemen right. No.
2 full in the head pin.
And the 10. 78 through 6. Well, you can tell who's up now. It's Brian Fuller. Brian from East Kingston, New Hampshire. A light hit that time. He'll shoot at the 3, 7, and 10. Brian and his wife Kathy have a 9-year-old son, Brian Jr. No. Brian works for Cato Fabrications. Does a lot of his bowling at the Lafayette lanes, and he will take a 7. So it'll just be the 7 pins he first knocked down.
And the lead happens to be 7 now for Valcourt and Ruonala.
6 this time. And another interesting leave.
5, 7, 9, and 10. Piece of wood in front of the 9, 10, and out a little ways. You almost have to clip the inside of that wood. That's it. Oh.
Boy, deserved better. So after a very fast start for both teams, a little dry spell here without marks. Take another look at that shot by Brian Fuller. Capped the wood. That double wood actually robbed him in the corner.
Yeah, stopped the wood from moving.
No, Fred Ruonala turned right away from that shot. He didn't like that one at all.
And I think he got exactly what he thought he was going to get, too. Half wrister left.
3 more. Oh, and a nice cut for the 9.
Nice out there, 87 through 7.
That's what Fred's looking at. And no. $10 and the lead is 6. I make it an $8 and the lead is 9. I put it in the wrong column.
Okay. I know you're in La La Land or something there. I was trying to figure out what I did wrong, and yes, you jump off the cliff and I follow you. 4 horsemen left plus the 10 pin for Steve Vadney. Makes it 79 through 7. For Steve Vadney and Brian Fuller trailing by 8.
Okay, I'm all set now. I'm doing this show again now.
Okay.
I was working on another one before.
You're on a different page.
He's going to take a crack at this. Nope. And a 9, leaving the lead at 8. Isn't it funny how both teams started out blazing and all of a sudden it's quiet now?
Seem to be following each other. When one team gets hot, the other one did, and the other one cools down, and likewise. So who will start it up again? Well, Larry Valcourt could have something to say about that with a 6 and a 9 for a spare. Oh, no. Hit the object pin, but just a little full, left a 9.
And Larry will take the $10. Again, Valcourt and Ruonala with the win last week, going for their 2nd in a row. If you missed us talking about it last week, today is the 17th time this season that a team has had a chance to win 2 straight. And so far in the first 16 opportunities, only 1 team has been able to win 2 straight matches. And that was Jack Sanick and Brian McKinley, who did it fortunately for them, in the semifinals and finals of a series, and so they have qualified for the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions at the end of the year here on Stars and Strikes doubles. Jack Sanek and Brian McKinley right now sit in the second spot at 381. Gary Carrington and Joe Ashline are in the top spot at 407. Chuck Godzik and Peter Flynn at 365 sit in third. Paul St. Pierre, Steve Reno at 349 sit in the fourth spot. A 116 for the team of Valcourt and Ruonala to start out this match.
1, 5, and 8 out of there for Brian. Spread eagle plus that 9 pin in the back.
Fuller and Vadney will be trailing after the first match unless Brian can fire a double strike here in the 10th. Oh, I take it back. He can get it with just 20. Oh, there's 10 right there.
Well, maybe he heard you. He thought he needed a double strike, so he could go out and see what he could do for it. And there's the first one.
Tell you what, he nor anyone else should be listening to me in terms of the score in this game, I'll tell you that. Ooh. Right through the heart. Nope, if he can turn this into a 9, we'll be dead even. It's not going to be easy. He'll take a 6, a 113, and the difference is 3. Valcourt and Ruonala with a 3-pin lead after 1. We'll be back with game 2 and some correct scores, hopefully, in a minute. A look at Steve Vadney, who will begin game 2. He and his partner Brian Fuller trailing by just 3. Oh, big first ball. Leaves the 8-pin. For the spare. Take a few leaves like that every match.
Yeah, I take my chances with those.
That's the 4th mark for the team. Just sliding by the head pin. Actually touched it, but didn't knock it over.
Steve ball comes back from left to right, a little in-shoot for a right-hander. And that one was fighting to come back, but just slid by on the left-hand side. Drop of 7, the 1, 8, and 10 left.
Oh, nice shot.
From?
Oh. A little break on that one.
Let's see what happens here.
The head pin.
Yep. Stayed in play. 2 in a row. And putting themselves in a position to take over the lead.
Fred Ruonala will try and answer back.
2, 4, 5, and 7. And they will take over the lead. Half Worcester left for Fred.
Oh, gives it a run. Can't cover the 8-pin. And the 9 box. So a pair of 9s. And the lead has indeed swung over to Fuller and Vadney.
By 6 plus the fill in the spare. So they can go from 3 down to lead, which is be in the double figures with a big solid 9-pin drop on the spare, everything but the 4. Brian, left-hander, and that one just slides by.
Settles for the 10. The 1, 3, 7, and 8 with Wood. Yes. Just like that. Threw that ball in the perfect spot. Let's watch it.
I know he's saying to Steve, how can I make a shot like that and then miss a single the box before? Larry Valcourt on lane 30.
And he's on the head pin, leaving just the 8 pin.
Piece of wood behind it, and I believe it's frozen against the 8 pin. Ooh. Larry gave it the old clenched fist, but I don't think he wanted to be that far right. Chance for him to cut into the 15-pin deficit now. And he certainly does. Let's see. He wants the 5-pin out of there if it happened. But no, it's going to be 7. The 4, 5, and 7 pins left. Got to be to the left of the red line, but if you're too far left, you may swing right around and leave the 5-pin standing.
Yes.
Oh, just
got
caught
it
the 7.
From the back. We'll take another look at that on the way out to commercial break. We're about at the halfway point of this semifinal match. Larry Valcourt makes the spare, and we'll come back with more in a minute.
Well, difference is 8 pins. In favor of this gentleman here and his partner Brian Fuller. Can add to it, at least for the moment, working on a spare.
Oh, big fill, but look at the leave. The 5 and the 10. You just said, piece of cake. Must be Black Forest cake. 'Cause that's what this looks like, being in the Black Forest. The 5 and the 10. Oh, he got it!
There's no problem up there.
Oh, angel cake.
I thought the wood might have been too far out in front, but it was just enough so he could drive the ball through and clip the 5, at the same time throw it toward the 10. 2 in a row. That's a great shot by Steve Vadney.
And now the fill on lane 29. It's a good one. 8 more. And this slightly less difficult 2-pin leave than the last one was.
3 and 6.
And he's got it. 5 marks in 6 boxes for the team. And they've got a whale of a string going.
Fred Ruonala is just trying to weather the storm here and see if he can get a good drop on his spare and keep marking, stay with him.
Oh, he's drifted right. Only got the half Worcester. Plays it inside. And that close to a spare. Great effort by Fred.
It's twice he almost converted this half Worcester.
Let's take another look at it. Plays it on the inside.
Lead is now 22.
Nope.
2 fall on the head pin to carry the 4. Going to fall further behind when Brian gets up and fills the spare left by Steve Vadney. It's 10-67 through 6.
Right now the lead 22 plus this ball. The team of Fuller and Vadney with 3 marks in a row working. That time full, and he gets a break. Getting the 6-pin to go down, not only for the extra pin and count, but also for the wood to maybe help on this shot. Nope. And it'll be an 8 for Brian. 105 through 7.
Great game.
And they've turned that lead around. They trailed by 3 coming in. Brian crossing over and going too far from the Brooklyn pocket. Oh, what an effort.
Larry Valcourt breathing a little easier, and he knows now he's going to be opposite 2 open frames. If he could put a couple marks up, this match would tighten right back up again. Larry for his 7th. Right in the pocket.
Oh, will he take both or all
Yes,
3?
he
He's
does.
got them all. There's the strike collapsing into the corner for Larry Valcourt.
You know what happened last week? And what a
Didn't
time
look
it
too
would
good
be.
at the beginning.
No. Everything kept moving, though. What a time for the double right now. Trailing by 25.
Oh, got a shot.
Everything but the 5 and no wood to help. It's gonna be all Larry Valcourt in this shot.
Oh, slides by. He has cut into the lead, though. It was 27. Now it's 16.
Final 2 frames this game for Steve Vadney. Already at 115.
Steve and his wife Annette have 2 children, Jennifer and Stevie. They live in Claremont, New Hampshire. Steve works at Sturm Ruger, and there's a big strike in the 9th.
Here you see it, no doubt about that.
3rd strike for the team. The 3, 7, and 10. Nope. Be an outstanding middle game for Vadney and Fuller. A 10 and a 144 for a 257 through 2.
Well, Fred Ruonala knows what he has to do. Trailing by 16, opposite of strike 9.
Has to get 1 mark here just to keep
There's
the lead
the
under
strike.
20, and he matches the strike.
It's dead in the 1-3, just coming off the wall, tripping the 4-pin.
Each team with 3 strikes now. Fred not able to carry the extra pin.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Disappointing 5 on the strike. So they'll drop 4 and count here in the 9th and 2 more.
119 and a 2-game total of 235. So the lead for Fuller and Vadney is 22 with 1 game to go in this semifinal match. And we'll be back with it right after these words. Larry Valcourt will start game 3. He and his partner, Fred Ruonala, in that predicament, trailing by 22. Larry trying to recover from that first ball. He's got a shot at a spare here, and he gets it. When you only knock out 3 pins with the first ball, it's nice to have a piece of wood helping there, lining it up for you. It's mark number 8 for the team. Fuller and Vadney have 9 to this point.
Oh, he's right in the pocket.
Ooh.
Boy, we got a great view of that lane 29 directly behind him, and there was just no way any of these pins were going to stand up. 8-pin was a little stubborn, but, well, if you're down by 22, I can't think of a better way to start. Spare strike.
Steve Vadney drifts off to the right, missing the head pin. A rare occurrence.
Well, there's immediately goes at least 10 pins of that lead. Maybe more, depending on how many pins Steve leaves up with his third ball.
He goes for all of them and takes an 8. So the lead down to 10, just like that.
Doesn't take long, and they've still got a strike, as you can see, already posted.
This time off to the left. That's the same leave Larry Valcourt converted for a spare a moment ago. He had wood, though. None for Steve, and he doesn't get it. Well, that lead could be gone by the time Fred Ruonala fills that spare, or that strike, rather.
Lead is now 8. So Fred was to drop at least 8. Or drop 8 will be even. Anything above more than 8 will be their lead. And there's 6 of them. 1, 2, 6, 10.
Let's see. Nope. The lead is 1. Nine box for Fred. Oh my, boy. Just the 3-pin.
And the 9-pin. Half Worcester now, but only 1 ball remaining.
Watch out. Well, he gets out of it. Well, he's got 8, maybe 9. Let's see. Nope, push the button. Wouldn't have gone anyway. It's an 8 box.
2 open frames.
And basically a brand new match here.
Brian protecting just a 1-pin lead now. 1-3-6.
Next Sunday here on the Winds, beginning at 12 noon. Championship Sunday for 2 hours. At noon, our singles championship. And then at 1, the doubles championship. It'll be the team that wins this match against Pete Pereira and Kevin Davis, our #1 seeds.
And next week, this final score is going to come into play, of course, because the winner is into the Tournament of Champions, and just where they'll be seated depends on that final score.
Tournament of Champions and Stars and Strikes, along with Stars and Strikes doubles every week, brought to you by Tri-State Megabucks. Just imagine being rich. Tri-State Megabucks. Give it a try. You just never know. Brian takes a 9, adds 1 more pin to the lead, and with 6 frames to go, it's just a 2-pin difference. 6 frames to the finish. We'll be back for it on Stars and Strikes doubles in a minute. Larry Valcourt. No marks up on the board for either team, so it's 6 frames to go to the finish. The a 2-pin difference.
Oh, tried to trip that 4-pin out of there. 7-pin came falling forward, but just missed the 4. 3, 6, and the 4. Piece of wood in between, behind the 2, and the 3, and the 6, but I don't think it's going to come into play.
Ooh. $9. So every pin you leave standing now is critical. A 9 drop this time.
This is what Candlepin bowling's all about. Single pins.
Nope, he just missed one for $10. Now he's got an opportunity to shoot at one for a spare and to add to the tension. He's got to wait until Cindy Sissom checks a piece of wood, which is in play, but well on the other side of the lane, not a factor. Oh, he turned it over. Turned that ball over. And again, 2 9 boxes. So, an opportunity for Steve Vadney.
Come on, Steve. Time to get him going now. Let's go.
Protecting just a 2-pin lead. Opposite 2 open frames.
Oh, right in there. Big strike. Big strike.
How many times you see that happen when somebody misses a mark before you? The next bowler up there and the other team throws the strike. Well, 6-7 left for Steve. Real difficult shot, but more important, he's already got 8 on the strike.
Can't throw it over there. 9.
Pushes the lead back into double figures again, which would mean at least a double mark.
There you see it, 13 the difference with 1 rotation to go, 4 boxes left. Fred Ruonala will be first. Light on the head pin, but look out.
Don't think he wanted that one to go down. Let's see where the wood settles down. The last pin to go down was the 3-pin. Oh, he's going to have to go to the far right. Grab both of those pieces of wood and see if he can sweep everything left.
No. Boy, could this be the back-to-back curse once again?
It is really something. It's, the more and more you think about the caliber of bowlers that we have and the team, you would think that someone would win 2 in a row, but it's going to be 2 open frames. Larry Valcourt's going to have to hope that Brian does not put a mark up on the board, his 2.
Just a 7, 89 through 8. Now Brian Fuller steps up with an opportunity to make it very difficult for Larry Valcourt, certainly. Thin. Well, this will be worth looking at on a replay if it goes.
2-4-7-8, difficult shot.
Ooh.
Went by the 2-pin and got the 8. I don't know. How did he do that?
It's an 8 box, temporarily at least losing 2 in count. It's opposite a 7 box right now.
Their team will have the advantage if you think it is one by bowling last.
And now right through the middle. Almost a spread eagle.
What he wants to do is at least keep the lead in the double figures. Still got some work to do.
Oh, and a 6 box. The lead will be 10 going to the final 2 boxes.
Now, Larry Valcourt knows he has to put at least 1 mark up, probably 2.
The lead is 10 for Fuller and Vadney going to the final 2. Larry is right in the pocket, maybe a little thin. Nope, he's got to leave here. I don't know if it's going to happen for him. Would he try for that extreme left-hand piece of wood, maybe?
I think that's the only shot you're really going to have. If you just play the wood in front of the 4-8, it's not going to do much. You have to grab a piece of that and hope it comes off the wall. Didn't grab enough of it, so this is an important pin, though, because he can go spare strike. That way, Steve Vadney would definitely need a mark to win the match. So these are very important pins.
That
might be the one we remember.
A 9 box. Well, it'll all be academic if he doesn't put at least a mark up here.
Absolutely.
Got to have something here in this 10th frame. And it won't be easy.
1, 2, 7, and 9. No wood to help.
Nope, gave it a run.
And the curse remains. The 2-in-a-row curse.
A 9 box, a 107, and a 342. Some 68 pins less than they had a week ago. And all Steve Vadney has to do is keep it in play. And he kept it in play, and that'll do it.
Just hit the home run.
That does it.
Only their 2nd mark of this string. Likewise for the team of Valcourt and Ruonala. They start out with spare strike. You thought, well, they cut the lead right down. Well, actually 1 pin at one time, but just couldn't get any marks the last 8 frames.
Boy, great effort there by Steve Vadney. Punched out the 1-5 with his first ball on the strike and almost converted it. Gets a 10 box, and it's a 105 for Fuller and Vadney, but the important score is the total. 362 for Fuller and Vadney, 342 for Valcourt and Ruonala. Again, a team is foiled at trying to get 2 in a row. So now it falls on Vadney and Fuller to see if they can do it next week. We'll talk about next week's championship, talk to all the bowlers in a minute. All right, welcome back to the Londonderry Bowling Center, and semifinal week is now in the books, and it will be Brian Fuller and Steve Vadney advancing with the win 362 to 342. And let's bring up our 3rd-seeded team and runners-up for today's program, Fred Ruonala and Larry Valcourt. Come on up, guys. We have a couple of checks here for you. $250 is 3rd-place prize money. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know you had some people yelling for you. I know your daughter is up there. She can't clap too well because of that hand, but she was screaming for you.
We could hear her. We could hear her. Yeah.
Well, I know she's frustrated because I want to put in a little plug because of the Newport basketball team, which by the time this airs, the season is going to be over. But and I know they've had a tough go of it. But I just wanted to make mention of the fact that they're giving it a good try, and Robin's here. So
yeah, they put a lot of effort into it. Eh? Hopefully they'll end up on top of one of them anyway.
Well, Fred, obviously this match didn't go the way you guys had hoped, but it was just a kind of a question where it was there for either team to take it really in the 3rd game, and Brian and Steve came up with a couple of big marks.
Oh, they seemed to want it more than we did. I just went south the last 2 strings. My partner was good enough to win it for us if I'd cooperated with him.
So it was your turn this week, I guess. Huh?
Yeah. I had to go in the dumper.
We both had the opportunities. It's just, they didn't come. That's all.
Well, we appreciate, again, you're both being here. We've talked about it so much this year, but again, the curse of trying to win 2 in a row, it just seems to come up and bite everybody, but we'll see what happens to Steve and Brian next week.
Yeah, hopefully they can break it.
Thanks very much. Congratulations, guys. All right. Let's bring up Brian Fuller now and Steve Vadney, our winners this week. And hey, Brian, it's good to see you. It's been a long time. That's a long time between visits. Steve, good to see you again. And well, you made it worthwhile. You still never lost here.
Nope, so far. Hope it stays that way.
Good match, really, for both of you, Steve. It seemed like you were each able to pick up a big mark when you needed it.
Yeah, Larry made it interesting in the third there, and until the last 2 boxes when he didn't mark, I said, my God, we thrown one good ball, the only thing to keep us in it, and the strike in the 9th is real easy when you only need 9. So
when all you have to do is keep it on the lane, you get it done early.
Right.
Well, next week we've got Kevin Davis and Pete Pereira coming in. They're the #1 seeds. They've been waiting for a shot at whoever is left, and you two are the lucky ones. So I don't know if that's good or bad at this point, because we've talked a lot about winning 2 matches in a row. It's been, I know it's been very difficult, but it's just something that you can't help but notice it at this point. It's been very, very difficult.
Well, hopefully we can do it.
All right. Well, good luck next week. We'll be looking for you. All right. Steve Vadney and Brian Fuller, thanks very much. And here it is for next week, our top 2 seeds. And how many times has it come down to this? Our top 2 seeds. Brian Fuller, Steve Vadney, the #2 seeded team. Pete Pereira, Kevin Davis, our #1 seeded team.
And it's been the #1 seeded team, except for that one time. And well, they're just going to try to break. They're going to keep talking about it, but it's a fact, and it's something. It's very interesting to me that this would happen continually. But
that's now just 1 time out of 17 chances this year on Stars and Strikes doubles that a team has won 2 matches in a row.
Yeah. Well, and they got a tough team here. That's the top seeded team, but. Of course, Steve and Brian certainly equal to the task, so maybe the string will be broke next week.
All right, next week we'll be back with Championship Week, 2 full hours here on the Winds. First of all in singles from Park Place Lanes at 12 noon, and then on Stars and Strikes doubles here at the Londonderry Bowling Center at 1 o'clock. And we will have our 5th qualifiers for the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. Until next week then, for my partner Dan Murphy and the whole TV50 Sports crew, I'm Doug Brown. Have a good week, everybody.